Mic test. Right. Boom. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am going live, and for today's topic, we're going to be talking about how love evolve digitally, well, over time digitally, right? And if you're wondering uh, why this is the setup now, I have a dog with me today. So, if you see me petting something underneath, it's a dog. Um, so yeah, just making sure that just making sure that uh, things are taken care of. Now, of course, um, if something smells, I have to pause live and actually pick it up. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Anyways, how many of you watching are familiar, or how many? It's February. It's love month, right? How many of you are know or have met your partners digitally? I'm interested. Type me, right? Or type digital in the comments if that's you. Or how many of you have met your partners traditionally? The when we say tradition, yung let's do traditional Filipino, right? You court someone, you ask their parents, etc., etc., right? Traditionally. Now, here's what I find interesting, right? So we actually have data up until, what's the word I'm looking for? Up until 1940s. Okay, so here's the data I'm going to show you guys. So of course this is from Wikipedia, and what's the word I'm looking for? This is from Wikipedia, and notice here's what I find very interesting. Notice that online dating, and thanks Sir Gerald for being here. Online dating started around 1980s, right? It started around there, and peaked up until around 2020s. Okay, so it's very interesting, and as you can see, there are different graphs here. People you meet on bars. Something interesting as well, from 1940s up till now, it's also going up. And for some reason, meeting your partners through your friends is slowly declining, right? Ever since the 2010s. Okay. Now, what is this telling us? Or ano ba yung sinasabi nito? Well, we'll explore that further somewhere down the line. Okay, but for now, let's look at history. Okay, let's look at history. And yes, hello. Unfortunately, it's Facebook user. I don't know where you're watching from. I sincerely hope. Let's see. I'll try and find you. Okay. Hopefully, you're watching inside the Prime community. Thank you for watching me live. So, but here's where dating started to get digital. Miss MJ, yun. Right? I'll show you guys where dating started to get digital, or what sort I'm looking for, uh, evolve, right? So ito yung nakakatawa. This is called a personal ad. People in the past, around 1960s, would actually pay newspapers to feature them. So here's one of my favorite, right? Man 39 friendly has lost his hair, but not his manhood. I am hairy everywhere else. Once way out woman to keep waning fires going full blast pronto. And then he leaves his phone number in there. So that's a personal ad, right? Um, here's another fun personal ad when it comes to dating. Poverty stricken, sexually inexperienced, but otherwise attractive male, 25, wishes to meet attractive, tasteful Berkeley girl for an experience and shared enjoyment of literature, music, cinema, athletics, conversation, and general companionship. His name is Jack. Okay, so this is a personal ad. So in the past, okay, if you're not someone who if you're someone who's unable to meet someone among your peers, you you go to the newspaper. Yeah, it's very brave, right? It's a very brave thing, especially that um, the problem here is that it's not niche down. So unlike current dating apps, like for example, if your preference is with with the same gender, there are specific apps for you to download to find people in that same category, right? Here, especially during the time where it's very conservative pa yung mga tao dati. Uh, or I might be wrong as well. I mean, there was a time where um, I forgot the exact time range where people started to adopt more liberal ideas, right? So, for example, here, um, one of the ads, a cultured lady of means, patron of the arts, is needed to command and share my life. Please call Richard, right? So I just I just find this really funny. Imagine having to put yourself out there on a newspaper for just to be noticed, right? And of course, our last ad over here is a super adventured, somewhat jaded writer, 24, needs very attractive, very intelligent young female for talking, thinking, and laughing, etc. with a phone number. So none of this will fly in current dating standards, right? But who am I to say? I'm not the expert here, right? But my point is, this is where everything started, right? Personal ads. And for a while, it actually stayed like this until people started using um, surveys and algorithms to pinpoint the perfect match for you. So if you're someone who likes speed dating, right? If you're someone who is interested in adventures, right? They will try to find a girl who can match with you or a partner that can match with you, etc. Okay. Now, sometime around what's the word I'm looking for? And then sometime around there, right, they started using algorithms, but from after that, during when when the internet suddenly came, here are some notable matchmaking websites. This is probably the most aggressive move for these individuals. This was the equivalent of dating apps. Yeah, exactly, right? It's liberal, it's new, I don't know, right? That the amount of confidence you need or desperation you need to actually pull this off, right? Now, here's the fun part. Now, when the internet came, okay, when the internet came, some of these dating websites also became a thing, right? Shadow.com, it's an online wedding service in India, okay? Um, Match.com was launched 1995, early 2000s. eHarmony, Heart Matrimony, Christian Mingle. I mean, for Christians that need to meet other Christians, I find this very fun. And of course, I think the granddaddy of all dating websites, all current dating websites, Friendster, okay, was launched in 2002. And eventually, around 2005, Facebook copied Friendster. And what most people don't know is that the reason why Facebook actually blew up is because of the relationship status, right? So it was designed for students in a campus to be able to see, add each other, interact with each other. But more than that, they could see if they were single or taken. Okay. So not only could you know who you should ask out in advance, but also if you have a partner and they could be popular, you could also increase your status, right, during the time, which I find very, very fun and interesting. So, of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. There's so much more that I don't think I can cover, and I don't think I'm qualified to cover, honestly, um, without another person. And exactly, thank you, Sir Gerald. Right, which brings us to modern era online dating. Okay, my favorites, right? Tinder and Bumble. Okay, so online, what's the word I'm looking for? What's trending right now, or maybe not trending. Maybe the fad is gone, right? But right now, for people in, well, I'll just speak in the Philippines specifically, because there's definitely a different use case for Tinder in Western countries, right? For so um, usually these apps are hookup apps. So you you either use these apps for um, what's the word I'm looking for? Brief escapades. Me personally, I use these apps when I travel. Um, but here's the fun part, right? The best it What happens here is that traditional dating, where you have to break the ice, ask for, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to ask permission from the woman or the father, right? These apps basically made it easier, right? Made the barrier to dating a lot easier, because now TikTok videos describing oneself as applying for a boyfriend or girlfriend. Mm, that now that th- that's a bit deeper into the iceberg. Okay, so there's a fine line between, okay, we'll also explore the pros and cons of this somewhere down the line, right? So the benefit of these apps is that you can actually just swipe right if you think you like this person, if you're interested in this person, or and swipe left if not. And if they came upon your profile and they swipe right and you match, boom, right? That already eliminates the need. Hold on, I have no idea who this is. It already eliminates the need, or the trouble to break the ice. So now, who knows? All you need to do is maybe message the person, right? So now, here's also the future of dating. And I honestly, hey Matt, glad to see you here. I will answer that in a bit. Yeah, I will answer that in a bit. And it's funny because Matt is someone I actually see thriving in these dating apps. Buti na lang hindi mo ginagamit, Matt. Anyways, so now here's also the future of dating. Okay, we are going into the metaverse. So we have already experienced weddings inside the metaverse. So people made their vows in there. Early model of this, World of Warcraft weddings. How many of you have played World of Warcraft, right? Online weddings in online games, etc. But inside the metaverse, this time there's a ledger that proves the union, right? Now, people have used it now, and it's not as scary because it's still niche. When I say niche, it's not open for everybody. Okay, so weddings in the metaverse are only open for people who have, well, extensive knowledge on NFTs, maybe have VR, maybe are geeks or nerds who try to do things. But my point here is that in the future, there will be mix and what is AR, artificial intelligence? No, no, I forgot. AR, VR, virtual reality. Yun. Okay, augmented reality and virtual reality are gonna become a thing, and it's only a matter of time before it happens, right? So right now there's a bit of resistance with VR. Um, I sincerely hope that AR becomes more popular. And when I say augmented reality, it's mixed reality, right? So virtual stuff combined with real life. Okay. But if not, it's going to take off and it's going to make relationships very, very confusing. Okay. VR is going to make relationships very, very confusing. But, it could also be a new barrier, right? Or um, it could also not really a new barrier, but a new push for perspective. Because, for example, you could identify as a woman and you could be a guy, and inside the metaverse, you're an actual woman, right? So that's something. Okay, so etc., etc. So we'll see what this means somewhere down the line, and will the metaverse actually have real impact in real life, right? So will how will that dating kind of work? So to answer Matt's question over here, what is the best reason to go into a relationship? Um, for me, it doesn't have to be romantic, but if hmm, but yeah, for me, it doesn't have to be romantic. I have to think about it more, but the top of my mind answer is, if you know that relationship is gonna teach you something you can't, or show you something you can't experience otherwise when you're alone. Okay, so it doesn't have to be romantic. Okay, now, yeah, it's like the movie Ready Player One, right? So I sincerely hope none of us get scammed into metaverse marriages with people with people we don't want to be with in real life. Okay, so because that could happen actually, now that I think about it. Okay, so yun, balik tayo dito sa graph. Okay, we're gonna go back to the graph. So some very interesting stuff over here, right? So getting partners through church, way lower than it used to be. Okay, so and that's interesting because the church is usually where the community is at. Okay, neighbors for some reason was steady but declined as well. Okay, met in college. Let's see, where's this graph? Met in college. I think it's this one. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, I can't see the. Okay, met through family at the sudden decline. Okay, now that's very interesting as well. So that means that kids do not trust their parents to matchmake them anymore. Okay, met through as co-workers, rose up, but when dating apps suddenly became a thing, it also went down. Okay, so very interesting, very interesting. So that's how love basically evolved digitally. Now, yung tanong ko lang naman dito is this. Okay. So, um what's the point? And it's a good question then for Matt, right? What's the best reason to get into a relationship? Um I have a variation of that question, and the question is, what's the point of going into relationships, right? So right now I'm single. I can't speak for couples right now, right? Pero what's gonna be the point, right? So is it just because, and and what's the word I'm looking for? And that's a huge thing people should start thinking about, because, well, if we're talking about hookups, maybe Tinder and Bumble is the way, right? It's very easy. All you have to do is swipe right, swipe left. You get people interested in you. And if you don't get people interested in you, maybe that's a sign that you need to change something on your profile, right? Don't add more filters. Maybe um, attract people with your wit more, right? Um, And but is are these apps really the source of more meaningful relationships? Okay. Now, based on experience, no. Well, for me, I've met people who have gotten married on Tinder. They met on Tinder, they married in real life, right? Personal experience though, when I went into these apps, the quality of women, and this is gonna sound really bad, but the quality of women I meet is actually um, not for long-term relationships, right? So it's crazy. So if you're looking for something more meaningful, then maybe despite the decline, okay, despite the decline, maybe you should still do things the old-fashioned way, right? Maybe courtship is not dead yet. Maybe meeting someone in church or in a community is not dead yet. Maybe, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe finding someone through work or through other stuff or through your friends is a better way, right, for a sustainable relationship than it is to use both Tinder and the metaverse. Okay? Especially with the metaverse. There's just so much risk involved in here. So, like for example, I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but I'll end with this basically. Okay, your goals or the quality of your intention determines the quality of the people you'll meet. So, regardless of whether you've done personal ads, you're on these matchmaking websites, or you're on Tinder, or you're in the metaverse, or maybe you're just somewhere in, you're somewhere looking for a partner in church. Okay, the quality of your intention determines the quality of the people you meet. So I'll end with that. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on my next live.